Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Today's episode, we got some mysterious videos from the dark side of TikTok. Let's get into it. Let's have some fun today, y'all. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Time I've really seen the government or like police force take a situation and do something to the civilian just because they seen something was the event that happened at the Bayside Mall in Miami.
Oh, with the aliens. Right?
Yeah, with the aliens. So
what happened? They took people away from them.
So they say this is kind of crazy. So the coordinates of that mall backwards is a place in Antarctica. Backwards. So if you take the coordinates of that exact mall and you put it backwards, boom, it takes you to a direct spot in Antarctica.
Came from that realm.
They're saying
Put the wrong thing in.
they're saying they put the wrong coordinates in.
To go back home.
Yes, to go in the Antarctica area because they think it ended up in the Bayside Mall. I swear, that's the whole that's the actual story. And
Wow.
there's actually like I'm not making that up about the coordinates. Like that's an actual thing. And the people in the mall that had the videos said when they went home and looked through their camera roll, it wasn't there. It wasn't there. And there was people that were getting checked like also out the door. So the police were deleting videos, but also people said that they like even in the recently deleted because cops didn't go and recently delete everything and all that shit.
Were they dangerous? Like, were they doing anything to anybody?
No, so they didn't do anything to
Aliens
everybody.
probably confused hell.
They said they
Bro, we're supposed to be
Like, bro,
Antarctica.
what the
What
fuck?
are they doing?
yes.
What the fuck are we as mad people?
Yeah, bro.
So they said they were
It's a
like
bunch of aliens. That's what
Bunch
they
of
call
aliens,
them.
what?
Aliens.
yes.
Bunch of aliens in this bitch.
Nobody lives in Antarctica?
No, they're not. No one's allowed in Antarctica. There was a rule.
Polar bears in.
Yeah, there was a rule by all countries, every single country,
Wow.
because there's stuff that would delete history, religion, everything
So
under
much stuff
Antarctica.
frozen there, bro.
Yeah.
That means everything.
Past civilizations before the 11,000, 12,000 year pole shift, when everything gets reset every 12,000 years.
All that.
Past civilizations.
What years we got?
Frozen animals.
We're at year 11,000 right now. Yeah, we're at year
We won't be
11,000.
Nah, but your great grandson.
Yeah, you might have a little blood left,
There's definitely gonna be some blood.
unless you have some gauges.
Yeah, that's what I was to say. Yeah.
There's a book called The Shooting of Charlie Kirk. You look at it and you're like, wow, somebody made a book that quick? Well, let me tell you something. It was quicker than you think. The book was actually published September 9th, 2025. Now, here's the crazy thing. Charlie Kirk was assassinated September 10th. So you think to yourself, how in the world was this published September 9th and he was assassinated September 10th? Well, let's read what they said happened. This is an article on Yahoo News. The date of September 9th, 2025 that appeared on the website for the book was a technical issue. But here's where it got interesting for me when I seen a tweet by this woman right here. So this is why I'm doing a story, because I seen this. Charlie Kirk was fighting with some very powerful billionaires that he took money from over things he was discussing. Candace is digging. We may dig and do this. She gonna pay people to get into the dark web. She gonna pay people to get over here, go over there. She gonna dig. Called Charlie Kirk her best friend and her brother. Knew him for years. They actually came up together. Charlie put her on Turning Point USA, and she's very upset. She says she talked to a priest, and she says she's mad at everyone.
Humans don't sing nice, and they don't have nice voices. They may say, okay, that's about it. As soon as they want to sing on satanic frequencies, because he owns these stations, he won't give us any airtime. He owns it, that's why his logo is on it. We won't get on his TV and we don't get on his radios. He says, oh, don't put that shake stuff on here. So he owns these stations and maqams. If you want to sing on his channel, you make a deal. And Allah says in Quran, they sold their soul for a small price. It's a transaction. They go to Route 66. Abjad for Allah is what? Alif, Lam, Lam, He. Alif 1, Lam, Lam 30, 30, and He 5 is what? 6. Are good in math? 1, 30, 35, 66. Where do shaitans go? They go to Route 66, which is a road, and they send in the middle of that intersection and a devil in a white suit, fair skin, black hair, appears very handsome looking, and you see him also as a representative of Dajjal in your dreams, coming to take you, lure you, or if he already has something on you, he'll have a whip around your neck. which is dragging you. Every time he whips you, half your mind will go. As a result, they appear into that intersection and say, what is it that you want, that you've come to this location? And say, I want to sing. So you want to sing? Okay. Then they cut and they mark with blood. That contract the devil takes, keeps it, and now sends one of his jinn, his shayateen, into that person. That shayateen is the one whom is singing. Sends out a frequency that mesmerizes and possesses people until they are excited by it, overtaken by it, and then called to it.
AI are now set out to birth children. That's some freaky shit, bro. Should we be scared?
When it comes to artificial intelligence, it has to mimic the energy of those who have the true mitochondrial DNA on the planet, because that's cultivated by the black woman, because her genetic format is connected to the mycelium network of nature. They have to mimic energy because they don't have the ability to create. That's what the archonic forces is being used for. They're using artificial intelligence and technology to extract the energy of black women and the children. The more you see the rise of artificial intelligence, the more you're going to see the rise of children coming up missing, and the more of the rise of black women coming up missing. It's all a part of the program, because racism is not only based on covert operations. Racism is the epitome of genetic self-preservation. When you get into the book of Leviticus, it talks about how there is a cursed seed. And the cursed seed of the Bible is actually the Canaanite. And the Canaanite only has a 6,000-year rulership on the planet, which is why it's connected to the doomsday clock. So their end is actually our resurrection that's cultivated by the energy of the sun, because they are not sun people, they are moon people, which is why they was ruling during the age of Pisces. And Pisces was in alignment with the Alpha Draconis star constellation that was also working in synergy with the moon.
There's 3 cities in the world that run the show. DC, Washington, just a square mile, a couple of square miles. City of London, where the Temple Bar is. The Temple Bar is in there. That is the only piece of land in the world that is over and above the Vatican. Remember that? That's in the City of London. It has to be, because this is the inner temple. This is the New Jerusalem. That's why they sing the song about New Jerusalem, the most popular song in the British Commonwealth, isn't it? Because they created the New Jerusalem. They were given the New Jerusalem. There it is, in the City of London. The middle temple, the inner temple, and that's the outer temple, based on that system that the Templars brought back from Jerusalem. It's a system of slavery, because the ones who are in the outer temple, they are the Gentiles, or the Goyim, or the scum of the earth. They're the ones that get taught exoteric religion. For instance, that Jesus Christ is pure history. When they were teaching Jesus Christ 2,000 years, 3,000, 4,000, who knows how many thousand years in India as Krishna, his name was Yes Krishna, they made it up. The Romans did that, the Julian family did that, and the Piso family, well, this is one of the richest of these families. They invented the whole historical thing and put it into the Bible so that it would appear to be history, so that they could keep people in the outer temple and then enslave them. This is the New Jerusalem, guys.
Why do you believe that Hollywood was created by the CIA?
Well, before we say Hollywood was created by the CIA, I guess I should clarify, because, you know, first off, you guys do know the Pentagon has a budget for film. Like, there's a whole department in the
Pentagon. Know that.
That's a fact. There you go. That's all you need to know. There's an entire department in the Pentagon. They get involved with films, and they get involved with films for the purpose of propaganda. They always have.
What movies have
I
they
should have
produced?
said Pentagon instead of CIA. Tons of them. I should show you the list. You should pull it up. It's wild. Yeah, Pentagon Department for Hollywood. Tons of them. Even Transformers. Even Transformers, like, you know, because they're concerned about certain narratives. They get involved with, like, World War films, like, how are we telling a story about history? Usually it's because we're lying about what we did, or trying not to make Americans aware of the crimes against humanity that we commit overseas, you know?
Yeah, the Pentagon just funded some films. Black Hawk Down, Red Dawn, GoldenEye.
The more you know. So now you understand your experience in theaters is what your government wants you to think. They want you to think that this is how things happen, and it's usually not at all how things have actually happened.
6 of the best movies made with help from the Department of Defense. This is military.
Yeah. I shouldn't have.
I wonder what other countries, like, say we've been to war with, their movies are like, because they come back here and say the Taliban do all these things with young ones, they do all these things. Like, I wonder what their stories are of our soldiers, like going in and, you know, getting with the women in there and of the villages. I mean, that has to go on. It has to. They're overseas. You know what I mean? Like it goes on. Like I wonder what their stories are of us Americans when we go to war, because we do some crazy things out there, y'all.
CIA. I should have just said the government. But
Top Gun,
yeah,
Red Dawn, Apollo 13.
Mm-hmm. It's all about
Iron
just
Man.
Iron Man.
I didn't know that was on the list.
Now he upset. Now he upset. Let me ask,
Interesting.
now you said
But talking about continue.
What? Iron Man? Nah, that's her limit right there. She was like, you know what? Ow, it's crazy.
What is the point of that? Just control?
Yeah, propaganda. It's crazy. You grow up in school and you think propaganda belongs to the East or something.
Mhm.
Propaganda is the name of the game of our government. They, again, never want you to look into the crimes that they are committing, constantly trying to sell themselves as the good guys. They did the most. They rescued and saved the world. They've never done anything bad overseas.
You know what I'm saying?
If you are living and you believe that the American government hasn't committed crimes against humanity, you had to wake up from the propaganda. You just got to, you got to learn real history, not what was taught to you in a textbook. That's all just propaganda. We've done horrific things.
I want to hear those stories too, right? Because we hear all the other ones of what they're doing to young ones out there, to what they're doing to women out there. We hear all that. What are we doing? It's interesting.
Graduate from university. Incidentally, the word graduate comes from two words: gradually indoctrinate. So consequently, when you graduate, you come out with a square mortarboard. The mortarboard is a symbol of masonry. This is why you go to college, to get a degree. Consequently, you need to understand that all universities and colleges in the Western world operate under the Vatican. All universities and colleges. If you want to save your money to send your kids to college, just remember you're sending them to a Jesuit, Catholic, dominated ancient Roman Empire system, whereby your children are to gradually be indoctrinated into a system of religion, politics, and theology. As far back as the 4th, 5th, and 6th century, we know that the escapades of the popes, many of them were homosexuals, most of them were murderers. They were all offsprings of bankers. The entire Vatican system was a banking system. Today's Uniform Commercial Code is based on the old Vatican canon law. Once you understand, the church, government, politics are all interconnected, and the secret societies have been manipulating them all from day one.
Time-lapse cameras were used in a standard first-grade classroom, and several hyperactive children may be noted, especially the boy in the immediate foreground. 90 days after, the regular cool white fluorescent tubes were replaced with the new type full-spectrum fluorescent tubes with radiation shields, there was a marked improvement noted, and the extremely hyperactive boy has voluntarily moved up to the front row. He raises his hand for recognition and is now up at the blackboard taking part in classroom activities.
The light difference, I mean, you saw almost all of the kids were struggling to pay attention, and all they did was change out the lights. That is something crazy to look at.
Right, and then there's the thought around like the prescriptions for ADD and ADHD. So let's dose your kids with drugs.
Yeah.
Legal speed.
Yeah.
Or, hey, let's change the lights. Radiation shield on the lights.
Focus is one of the most important things that you can have when it comes to building whatever you're trying to build. What are your lights at in your house? Now, I know you use a full spectrum bulb.
Yeah, I do use a full spectrum bulb, and there are some lights in my place that I can't change out. I barely turn those ones on. Even the bulb behind you right now is a amber bulb.
Yeah.
So I have those at night, and I avoid those really vibrant bright lights that send that signal to your body that it's daytime, that you're scattered and you're supposed to be high energy. There's a soothing effect to lights.
This feels to me like a conspiracy.
Candace Owens was contacted by Tyler Robinson's boyfriend's family, and you're going to be shocked what they said to her.
So I go into our tips box, and it turns out
Real quick, there really is a soothing thing to lights, right? Like all these colors back here, like they just bring me so much happiness, so much chill joy. Like just right now on my Forerunner, before I came in here, I put LED lights all throughout inside the car. Just little things like that make my day. I put new headlights on my on the front of it, new bulbs, right? LED bright lights, and just little things like that make my day. When I'm driving in it, when I'm in here doing this, I like to change the colors, switch up the vibe. My outdoor lights change colors. Like I just love different colored lights in the living room when I'm watching TV in the evening. I got the amber color on. You know what I mean? So lights do a lot to your mood.
Actually, Lance Twig's family has tried to reach out to me because we trust you and we don't trust the media. It sounds to me a very good family. They told me, and I can tell you this exclusively, the house that Tyler Robinson was living in with Lance is owned by them. They know Lance, obviously, and I'm going to cushion this with allegedly. Parents kicked him out junior year of high school because he was problematic. He just had issues. Just this past Easter Sunday, they are telling me that he showed up on drugs and he was spouting out of his mouth about political stuff. His family is telling me that they are not buying the current story and that they feel that more people are involved. People are saying, who live in the neighborhood, that they noticed some unusual traffic. This individual family member said to me, yup, we are hearing the exact same thing. A lot of cars that were seen outside leading up to the shooting in the days before the shooting or the week before the shooting. There is very clearly more people involved. This feels to me like a conspiracy.
I salute Candace. Keep digging, sister.
Scientists believe that inside...
We might have to react to her digging of this. I don't know if she has episodes. I don't really follow Candace, honestly. I'm not really into the political stuff like that, but we might have to, I don't know if she does 30-minute, part one's 30 minutes on my second channel, which is down below. We might have to go through all those parts because it is very interesting, y'all. Like that old dude they arrested, I guess, he was admitting things and they arrested him and hit him with a child PDF thing on his computer right off the bat. So he can't do interviews. Guess you can't do interviews when you got that label on you, right? I don't know, but that's what I heard. There's a lot of fishy things going on with this, y'all. We might have to get into Candace's deep dive of all of it if she allows it on her YouTube page.
Heart, there is what is considered to be a mini brain. What? Tell me more. Yeah, what they're saying is that they're inside the heart. There's about 40,000 neurons, which is essentially a mini brain that can actually interact with your other brain by sending it signals when you're in stress or distress, okay? This is why typically when somebody breaks up with someone and they actually feel that in their heart first, it then sends the signal to the brain to notify it that they're not feeling happy about that, okay? This is why when people actually get some sort of transplant, such as kidneys, hearts, they will actually pick up the memories from people because this is actually called cellular memory. And that's why, such as in the heart, it will send those memories to the brain of the person that got the heart transplant. Oh, goody.
A shocking new report, which is getting so little attention right now, is the sheer amount of female teachers being arrested for doing things with their students, which I can't even say on here. And what's crazy is that there's not even a centralized data collection to track this horrific trend. So when Daily Mail decided to do it themselves, they found that in just the last 12 months, 25 female teachers have been arrested in 16 US states. A leading child psychologist says that he believes there's a rise in cases because of teachers' use of social media, and even some having fans accounts which students can access. And I mean, we had an example of this just 3 weeks ago when this teacher, who posed as a 14-year-old girl on Snapchat and TikTok, is now facing 11 felonies. And prosecutors say there are 5 boys in total aged 13 and 14 who were victims. But then you quickly realize why this is getting so little public outrage when you see the comments on TikTok about this case saying things like, I need a girl like Alyssa Zinger, free Alyssa Zinger, and can someone be my Alyssa Zinger? But if that teacher's name was David Zinger, the comments would look very different. In fact, the data supports this double standard too, because when you look at the prison years that male...
This is crazy. This is all crazy.
Why are you sitting in your chair today? Does gravity pull you to the floor? No. There is no such thing as gravitational pull. We lied to you.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest? It didn't happen. It could have been scary. Circuit breaker. It didn't happen.
Oh, now surely this is the right spot. Look at this. This area is filled with books about pretend people.
That's right, Grover. This is the fiction section.
Fiction means it's a made-up story. Or this is the fiction section. Fiction means it's a made-up story.
Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
That stuff is flat.
There are people, and I don't stand by this theory, even though I've spent a considerable amount of time looking into it, that say none of the planes on September 11th actually existed, or none of them were there.
The hologram theory?
Yes. So
that is one that
I want to address some of this, because this is a video that was circulating on social media just within the last few months. It seems to be a pretty frequent one people mention.
I just like to comment.
Yeah, some of
I
it,
believe in theories. I'm not. This one I don't.
Well,
some of
it's that the planes were the hologram, then they blew up the building simultaneously.
Or they were.
It's so stupid. We have it on freaking video. What are they talking about holograms?
Or they were missiles that kind of had the ability to project the fuselage of a plane.
Or
around
more
them.
simply, they were just hijacked planes.
So I want to play this video that people often mention as proof of this. We'll take a look here.
I'll steal
because
why this is a stupid
you can
theory,
see
everything.
You can see everything, but people try to say it looks like it's clipping into the side of the building.
You're dealing with a 2001 camera that's now been on. That was on presumably on VHS, I imagine.
Yes.
That has now been like pixelated, and then it's from a distance away, zoomed in. You're obviously, what is it called? Not fragmentation in video.
Artifacting.
Here's
Here's another one that we can roll while we're talking. Keep going. But
there are some theories that are based on legitimate queries, like the Pentagon.
What was that explosion in the front?
That was the passport getting injected into the screen.
So you see this is very zoomed in. It's blurry. It's grainy. And part of this is the frame rates of things recorded on VHS.
I'm coming back to the passports. Even if Humberto, your theory's right. You know, like pressure. It's in the building right now, and now that's flame and fire and gas and debris.
No, but it likes to jump. It's in the city for the first time. The passport wanted to see Times Square.
It's not my theory. I'm just trying over here. I might get a point on this one.
The controlled demolition. Who doesn't believe that there was some element of it?
To wrap up the no planes theory, just because it is a theory that exists, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of these theories, what we can prove, what we can't. This one is a much more of a stretch to try to suggest that all the planes were holograms, that news footage was CGI in real time.
And the families of this is why I never got. Not that I never got behind. I disliked and never agreed with the Sandy Hook they didn't exist victims, because I know first degree people who are relatives of the victims. These were people's families on the planes, and so they existed. And then to say it's holograms means you have to fake the death of the hundreds of people on the planes. It's much easier just to hijack the planes than to try to pull that off.
Was it weird?
Racer.
What's the explanation for the people on the airplane though? Calling their families in 2001 and having cell phone service on the airplane.
I guess Steelman the crazy, because they'll say it was a government officials using voice modulation and trying to really sell the hologram.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, how did those calls go through? There's no way
you
back
can make
then.
A phone call off a plane, I believe.
Did they not?
No, these are cell phone calls.
No,
to family members.
Were they cell phones or were they phones on the plane?
I think it was phones on the plane for
like
most
the ones
of
that
them.
were the ones that had those coil things.
Although that's what's weird, that Flight 93 found out about the other crashes through phone calls. So that means someone had an incoming call on
Did
the plane.
cell phones exist in 2001? They did.
Yes,
They did.
They weren't nearly as good, but
No, and then would you have been able to get reception? Okay, Vinny's going to look
These-
it up. I had
these
actually
are-
never
these
asked
are
that
odd
question.
things.
I mean, it's hard to get a reception right now.
Yeah,
Like, once you take off, it's very, very
I lose
difficult.
reception in our office pretty regularly, but that might just
Well,
be
this is a
my
this is a
carrier.
vault near a landing
Yes,
pad.
passengers on several of the hijacked planes made calls, but were airphone seat back phones calls, not regular cell calls, since cell phones service at cruising altitude were unreliable.
That's actually very common.
That's very common. No, and also how would they have found out? Well, the pilots, I presume, or the pilots are no
Talking
longer
to the
alive on-
tower.
No, but the United, no, because when United 93 gets taken over.
So
they
how
find
how
out.
did they get incoming calls to the
How
flight?
did they find out? Would be the question.
And I think some of this is our own lack of understanding about cell phone and phone infrastructure back in 2000 right now, just because, like you said, seat back phones, that used to be a thing, where like most of the seats on certain flights had planes.
Phones attached to buildings is a thing that many people
Yeah.
watching this are not going to.
Anybody remember trying to unkink the twisty cord on your?
Well,
on
you
your
don't
home
remember this,
phone?
Vinny. You're old enough. You remember
Oh, I would hate people.
and then you have to go. Did you want to dial the operator? That's the longest.
Zero.
And then you like the little stupid wheel that spins on a phone.
Louis C.K. had a funny joke where he's like, "Man, when people with zeros, you hated it. You're like, how bad do I look like this asshole?"
So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry,
Like the
Patriots.
reacted clips of those podcasts. I never seen that.
Here's your next role. You're going to be president. A lot of theater boys are getting power. You know, Zelensky was an actor and a performer, and he actually played the role of being the president and then actually became the president. Macron, he was a theater boy, okay? And now all of a sudden he's like
That's
playing
slap.
the part of the president of France. I don't take any of these people seriously. Like, this is, you are,
as people.
this is your next act. Yeah, you are told to pretend that you're the president of France and somebody behind you is telling you what to do. And we can definitely, as Americans, I think we can all agree, whether you're left or right, that that is a circumstance after having Biden in office, because we know, irrespective of whether you loved him or hated him, he was not cognitively there, and yet the government still ran, and that should terrify you, who was in control
Exactly.
while he was on a steep cognitive decline. It's the same for, I think, the entire Western world, that these people are not in real control, and that they're just made to kind of delude the public into believing that, like, yeah, this is a republic and a democracy and you have a say, and look, you elected this person, but somebody else is obviously pulling the strings.
That's a fascinating observation that has never occurred to me, that the theater kids have taken, like, literally.
Yeah, they're literal theater kids.
Are you recording this? Yes, you're live right now. Well, we're recording. I don't know if we're live because of the cell service.
So,
hang on.
I was standing in probably the third. Okay. I was standing from probably the third row in the bottom. I saw hit. I heard the shot ring out. I looked to my left, and then I looked over to my right. I saw him slump over in his chair forward. He slumped over. He had blood coming from the left side of his neck down his shirt, and he slumped over and he was carried off.
We're not doing this. Sorry.
Get off me! Get off me!
Emotions are running high right now.
Get off me!
This guy says a man died today. This is unconfirmed.
Here's this weird scheme, and I'll show it to you guys here. So there was the Great Fire of New York in 1835. And then there's the Great Fire of Chicago in 1871. And then there's the Great Fire of Seattle in 1889. And then there's the Great Fire of Atlanta, 1917. And then there's the Great Fire of Baltimore, the Great Fire of Michigan, the Great Fire of Boston, the Great Fire of Spokane, the Great Fire of Pittsburgh, the Great Fire of Los Angeles, the Great Fire of Jacksonville. There's literally great fires going on infinitively. If the government had a bunch of manuscripts, artifacts, historical documents, things that they didn't want to proceed in the future, all they have to do is burn it. Oh, the library got burned. Oh, the museum got burned. Oh, this got burned. Oh, it's all gone, guys, And then within 100 years, which it clearly has been longer than that, nobody will be able to prove, nobody's going to be alive as a first eyewitness testimony of anything. So you can say whatever you want, but nobody's going to believe it. They're going to say, yeah, no, there's no evidence of that.
Where in the heck is this? It's crazy. Pyramid. Like I'm telling you guys, on the way, say you're driving to Sedona from Phoenix, right? You hit that I-17. I believe after you pass like the 303, maybe Black Canyon, on the right-hand side, if you're heading north, there is a giant mountain that looks like a Native American laying on his back. Like you see the nose, you see the mouth, you see the forehead, you see all that. Next time, I don't know when it's gonna be, but when I make that drive, I'll be sure to film it and put it on here. But it is like a giant, like Native American laying on his back when you're driving towards Sedona.
Community church in South Africa. If you want heaven in this world, come here. They will give you and they will show you. And you have to sacrifice some of things.
Speaking of what Mr. Beast knows, he did this whole thing of like underground nuclear bunkers. He went to the bunker that we've talked about when we were talking about the Denver airport.
Oh, really?
You know, that one that's in Colorado?
In the mountain.
He got access to it.
What is this guy into?
He's an asset at this point.
I think he is.
I mean, he wasn't allowed to film a lot. Like, they kept on saying, okay, you can't film this part.
How do you get that clearance?
That's what I'm saying.
They have to be contacting him. What did he say about the bunker?
They said you could literally drop the most powerful nuke on top of it and it would not destroy it.
You know they have more too.
They have a subway in there.
What?
Really? Imagine being a subway worker and you just have to go into this underground bunker every day.
What's comforting to know is that if our entire species suffers nuclear winter, Subway will live on.
Subway will be there. That's weird to me. That
should be
Subway hasn't
conspiracy.
gone out of business.
What if they are literally just keeping them afloat just because that's a restaurant in this bunker?
Yeah, we can't get rid of it.
Like they're funding Subway.
They probably did that like 30 years ago and then Jared Fogle messed up. They're like, dang it, Jared!
Or maybe he found out something about the bunker and they blackmailed him.
Oh! Release Jared Fogle. No, we're not doing that.
Walt Disney just froze himself, said wake him up in the future. Walt Disney right now, and you know it worked because they froze the baby 30 years ago. They just woke that baby up now. And that baby is a regular fucking, oh, you think I'm playing? Nigga, they woke the baby up from 30 years ago right fucking now. So this shit worked. You think I'm playing? He think I'm playing.
Yeah,
Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. They woke a baby up. They froze a baby 30 years ago and they woke him up now. Right? That's super baby. The baby is 30 years old, but it's born at the same time. Stop playing with me.
Oh, they say he was born in 1994 and he was froze for over 31 years.
There you go.
And he just came out in July 2025.
You think I'm playing?
In Ohio.
In Ohio, right? And that's crazy. How can they do that? And he's still a baby now. But you know what I said? This is what I said. I said he's gonna have Benjamin Button disease. As he get older, he's gonna be turning older. Like when he's 30, he's gonna be 60, right? And I think it's gonna catch up with him. That's what I think. But if it don't, then everything gotta be a trick.
Because
right?
he used his body. How the fuck you?
I mean, they gotta be a trick, right? So how can you freeze something and then make it come alive 30 years later and it's the same age, right? Time can't be
All
real.
in the mind, huh?
Age can't be real. Death can't be real. They say put in front of our face that nothing is fucking real.
The mind is the strongest thing on this planet, y'all. And if that baby doesn't age rapidly or anything like that, It is all in our brain. We age ourselves with our brain from the day one. Happy birthday, two, three, you're getting old. You graduate high school. Welcome to the real world. Time to start paying bills. Like it's all up here. It's all up here. And I guess there's no escaping it because that's just the way every culture, every race, everything, they age. And maybe it's all up here in our mind. We age ourselves. I don't know.
In Minnesota that completely vanishes into prehistoric rock. A waterfall literally plunges into an abyss. This part of the river found in Judge C.R. Magny State Park is riddled with lore. For years, nobody could explain where the water went to. People tossed in colored liquids, logs, and even ping pong balls. The failure to recover any of those things birthed urban legends. Some people said that where the water entered was bottomless. Others believed that it was a portal to hell or somewhere else. And its name, the Devil's Kettle, only fueled those myths. This echoed a long-standing American tradition that branded things that were unexplained with the devil's mark. It took until 2016 for a scientific experiment to work. Hydrologists with the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources measured the river's flow above the falls. They then compared it to the flow downstream. The numbers matched perfectly. They discovered that the water wasn't vanishing. It was slipping into the ancient volcanic bedrock that had opened up underneath. The water was then rejoining the main flow somewhere underneath the surface. From there, it continued flowing on into Lake Superior. But even with the riddle solved, the Devil's Kettle still has a lot of mystery around it. The exact depth has never been measured. The forceful current makes it impossible for humans or instruments to last down there, and every object thrown down there has yet to be found. So while it's known where the water goes, the physical dimensions are still uncertain. The Devil's Kettle is one of the most popular attractions in Minnesota, and while the science is known, people hike over 200 steps just to look at it, with the feeling that the river is being swallowed by something that is unknown.
Check this out.
My daughter drowned. She was underwater, according to our Ring cameras that recorded every bit of it, for 2 minutes and 38 seconds.
Damn, bro.
She's got baby lungs. She was 2 years old.
Yeah, dead, bro.
She should have been. My wife jumped in, scooped her out, said that she was blue and her mouth was open and she was at the bottom of the pool looking up, and my wife freaked out, obviously. Jumped in, picked her up, jumped out of the pool to obviously try to resuscitate her, get her some help. Before she even got out of the pool, she started crying. My wife didn't resuscitate her. Nobody resuscitated her. She just started crying.
That's crazy.
Color came back, called the ambulance. They rushed out. It was a big deal. Long story short, for the next couple of weeks, she just kept saying, Yahshua, Yahshua. My wife's like, what are you saying? Yahshua. What's that? My friend. I saw him. You can totally hear it. I'll play it for you.
That's crazy.
I'll play it for you.
What are you saying? Yeshua. Yeshua? Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm asking for a sign. My daughter should have drowned, and now she's saying Yahshua. Thank you for doing that.
Yo, that was powerful.
You know, I got a little story. We're gonna get into it real quick. I had an ex-wife, right? This was a few months before we split up, right? And long story short, I was hanging up some curtains and I was asking God, like, if she's not the one, just let me know. Give me a sign in my head, right? I was saying that because we were arguing. I was hanging up curtains. I was having trouble with the screw. It just wouldn't screw in, right? I was getting frustrated. I was in the best of moods because, like, a few weeks or a month before, God talked to me. So I was on cloud nine, right? I was living the life. I was happy, right? And I felt like she was just nagging at me because I was happy. So while I was doing that, I was asking in my head, like, just, give me a sign. Give me a sign if she's not for me, right? So I give up on the screw. I'm like, let me go get another screw in the garage. I'm pissed. I already snapped at her, right? I'm like, all right, this is what you want. You want me upset? I snapped, like, boom, boom, whatever I said. She went in the room crying, whatever, right? I went outside to get a screw. And when I walked outside, it was like a light flashed from me, like a spotlight flashed on the floor. And there was a screw on the floor, right? I swear, there was like a screw on the floor. Now we walk in and out of this garage all day. So I would have noticed that screw because it's in our walkway. So I felt joy go through my body. I felt happiness go through my body, right? And I said, you know what? Before anything, let me go screw this screw in to see before I jump to conclusions, right? I went, screwed it in that same hole. A screw went in like butter, y'all, like butter. You know what I mean? And me, I'm such a dummy that I took it as a sign that she was for me, not remembering that, 20 minutes earlier, I asked God to give me a sign if she's not for me. So I went in there, apologized, whatever. Long story short, a month later, she walked out. It was over like that, y'all. But that was one time that, God answered, when I asked him to show me, you know what I mean? And it's crazy. Can go deeper on that if you guys want. Because it happened twice.
I'm over here at the storage, and I don't know if it's me, but y'all tell me I
Look
don't
at the
see
left of the corner. See something peeking out? I had to watch this like 5 times to catch it. But
I
there's
don't
like
know if it's just a fan like going
something
in and
peeking out
but
over there.
the fuck is that?
See it? On the left. Yeah.
I don't. Maybe I'm bugging. No, I know y'all just see that, right?
I'd be gone.
Oh!
We are cooked. We're all dead. Watch this. That is the alien creature. The one that Ken, the Panama guy, had. You know, that guy we've all been following. Well, he thought it was a good idea yesterday to put this alien goo thing in the environment. He took it to a park, he put it in a stream like water, and look at that! Today, this thing seems to have woken up. Now, so let me just review for everyone. We now have a creature that hitched a ride on a meteorite. It came from another planet, landed in Kin's backyard. He then catered to the thing, took care of it, cut pieces off and sent them around the world. And then when the pressure got too much, he took it and put it in a park in a stream where it seemed to sink to its demise. But today, look at it. Should we go pet it? Look at the thing. Does that look friendly to you? Honestly, people, somebody needs to alert the authorities. Someone needs to come get this thing. Who knows what it's doing to the water, to the ecosystem. Could have laid 10 billion eggs. And we could all get like alien face hugged, and next thing you know, it's gonna pop out of our stomachs. You need to take this thing serious. Ken, you need to take this thing seriously. You need to tell someone where it is, how to get it, so that they can do something about this before it becomes a real problem. Look at the thing. It's absurd. Someone has to get control of this. What are we waiting for? The thing to crawl out with its buddies, start taking over the land, taking things over? Like, let's go. How about that for an update? Let's see what happens tomorrow. Maybe it'll be as tall as a 10-foot building.
Y'all, this story that's coming out of Houston is wild as fuck. This 20-year-old who attended the University of Houston named Jay McKissick went missing on September 11th and was found 4 days later. Her body was pulled from Bray's Bayou. And get this, y'all, the medical examiners are calling this no foul play. But here's where it get crazy, y'all, because that same bayou has had 12 other bodies pulled from it. 12. Now, y'all tell me this. How does that many people end up in this body of water? And each time they say it's no suspect, no foul play, and they're just brushing it off each time. Like, nobody find that suspicious? So they said the last time they seen her was on surveillance when she was walking by the gas station, and all of a sudden, she was gone. They said she left her phone behind and everything. And now she's just another person on a long list of they don't know what happened. Tragedies in that bayou. I'm just not understanding. If that many people went missing over there, why hasn't there been nothing done to secure that area or make it more safer or have surveillance over there? I'm just lost for words. Somebody let me know. And somebody answer me this. If your city, your state you're in, had bodies just piling up in the same area, would you really think it's just a coincidence? Let me
to TikTok experts, the rapture is happening tomorrow or the day after. And usually I wouldn't give these things the time of day, but people are genuinely freaking out about it, and it's very concerning. There's over 500 million views on TikTok about this. There are stories of people literally selling their cars and leaving notes for people inside of their home. It's just getting weird. This all started because a South African pastor said that he had a vision. If you actually believe this is happening tomorrow or the day after, or if someone random says the world's ending or the rapture is coming at any time, you need to take a break off of social media, because if you believe that, you're going to believe a lot of other things that's going to be detrimental to your health, to your mental state of mind, to everything. I only say this because we're definitely living in some weird times. A lot of evil stuff is happening. A lot of dark is coming to the light. And a lot of times it does feel biblical. But a lot of people use this to their advantage. They use it to gain power, money, followers, whatever the heck it is. Just be a little extra careful on what you're watching and listening to. And at the end of the day, there's literally one Bible verse that can answer all of these questions.
Not only believe it, you need to get off social media, but believe it to the point where you sell your car. Like, that's where, I mean, what are you going to do with that money if it did end? What are you going to do with that $10,000 you sold your car for if it does end today or tomorrow? You know what I mean? Like, to that point, yeah, you need to get off the internet.
Story about giants in Death Valley. And so these two dudes, Dr. Bruce and Dr. Daniel, just exploring all through Death Valley, and they found this really, really small opening of a cave. And so they went down in. They said it was polished stone. And one of the first caverns that they found, they call it the Hall of Giants. And it was basically these preserved mummies of these giants, ranging from, like, I think they said 8 to 12 feet tall.
Wow.
And then another room that they went into apparently had these preserved, mummified, extinct animals. They had dinosaurs in it, saber-toothed tigers. They explored it for a total of 15 years. Didn't want to tell anyone about it. So they got all these investors together and they wanted to start a company called Amazing Explorations. He brought these investors, or a group of them, to the caves to see it. And they all saw it. And they're like, what the heck? This is insane. But it was very secretive. So, like, only Dr. Russell knew the exact entrance of this cave. He said, I'm going to do a press conference and I'm going to bring artifacts from the cave and we're going to expose the whole thing.
Yeah.
Dr. Russell, on his way out to collect those artifacts, disappeared.
Oh, boy.
Is there anywhere on this map that is safe in the event of a nuclear war?
There's one tiny little place, New Zealand, and a little bit of Australia. And that has to do with, if you follow the idea of nuclear war, that agriculture fails when we have a nuclear winter and the sun gets blocked out and there's no more, there's large bodies up in the mid latitudes are frozen over in sheets of ice. And when you have all the billions of people dying, it's because agriculture fails. And it is said by those who study this, the authors of Nuclear Winter, that there are some areas in Australia and New Zealand which would remain viable. But you're talking about kind of hunter-gatherer type people. Now, among the stranger conversations I have had since Nuclear War Scenario published was with several billionaires who actually have bunkers in New Zealand.
No. Oh, yeah.
They will remain nameless. But what was interesting to me, it was that the response to reading my book and realizing the world could end in 72 minutes wasn't, let's all get together and make sure nuclear war doesn't happen. But it was more about how fast can I get my G5 loaded so I can get to New Zealand.
He says he was forced to make old food look fresh. That's why he secretly recorded his supervisor admitting tampering with best before dates is industry standard.
Every store does the same thing. All the other stores do the same.
Safari demonstrates what he says is done at work, adds new toppings, and sells as fresh.
I decorate it, and I'm selling expired stuff.
In a national online call-out, Marketplace hears from grocery workers at smaller stores sharing stories of food tampering.
We're a pest species that's grown like a mold around the planet because our natural predator has been absent for a few 100,000 years.
Wow.
10 times more intelligent than a human. It only needs a certain enzyme that humans have in their blood. And what it does is it basically goes into hibernation like a vampire. It lets the human population build up. And then when it comes out of hibernation, over a few generations, its existence may have been turned into myth or something. And then hunts the population down again, right?
I was made to kill people in Disneyland. There's one thing I don't talk about it with anyone because it was so awful. But one time I was made to kill the girl that played the role of Alice. I was made to kill her, and I was made to kill families. That was for the CIA. Yeah, so they use you to get rid of people, and they take you to an altar in order to get you to do it. We could call them bubbles or a honeycomb.
Yeah.
And you have to work through that honeycomb to reach that specific personality. And so they would push you to that point. It's often called going over the rainbow. We're going to take you over the rainbow. You come to a door, and then they would say, your journey's about to begin. You're going to go over the rainbow. Will you open the door to your future? And then that's when it would hit you. And like, oh shit.
I am flabbergasted with what I'm seeing right now. So I purchased a bag of great value drumette, wing drumettes, whatever. And it's supposed to be the flat and the drumette, right? Look at this shit. This is the craziest shit I ever seen in my life in a drumette. Look at this. Look at this piece of chicken. It's not even a drumette. What is this? Look at this. Now, that's not the worst. Some of these pieces look like they just scrapped it up. This is the only drumette, the flat, that I can see in here. Look at the shapes of this. Look at this. This is I'm not cooking this shit. Look at this piece. What the hell is this? This looked like something they scrapped up and put in a bag. This is disgusting. This bag was like $15. Look at this piece. This is the worst piece. I'm just like, what? This looked like a rat ate it. They selling this at Walmart. Never in your life, if you don't want to die, don't buy great value chicken in a bag. Look at this. It's discolored. I'm taking this back to the store and get my money. I'm never ever buying this again.
I used to get those chicken wings a lot. And there's always, every time I would make a batch, like I'd make like 5 or 6 chicken wings like for lunch. Every time I'd make a batch, there was always 1 or 2 that just was disgusting. I wouldn't even eat. I'd throw it away. Like, why are you giving us such crappy quality foods and charging $16 a bag, like she said, because that's how much it is. Like, I'm so sick of this stuff they do. And it's never going to change. You know why? Because we're so divided, right? Just last year, we were crying about free speech. We need free speech. And then somebody gets assassinated, and we're okay with free speech now because they shut down Jimmy Kimmel. Now we're okay with it, right? We're so that's how divided we are. And they get away with this. They're gonna always get away with this until we come together, y'all. I can't say it enough. Until we come together, this is gonna be the normal. And unfortunately, I don't see us ever coming together. People are just too asleep on both sides. Frustrating.
Look at this.
Very frustrating.
Don't even look like a drumette or
that's how it looks.
What is this? Look at the shape of this chicken.
Bones are all
It's
nasty.
a bone right here. So we turn it this way. What the hell is this? Never buy great value chicken. The meat is bad.
The Book of Enoch describes this perfectly. And this book was left out of the Bible on purpose from our predecessors, but it describes the angels coming down and cutting all these giant trees down to flood out the Nephilim, the giants, these beings that stretched 4,500 feet tall. These trees would reach the heavens, and that's why you always see the flat mountaintops, because these were massive trees way back in the day. Giants, giant trees. This was a much bigger realm. And they came and they cut all this down because they wanted to get rid of the Nephilim. They wanted to get rid of the giants. It is said that there's about 200 of these trees that were cut down, and If you take a look around, that's pretty accurate. There could be even more, but the evidence is right in front of your face. And when you cut a tree down, water will start pouring out from the trees, but it's as above, so below. The water's above the firmament. This is where all the flooding came in. It was right after they cut the trees down was when we experienced this massive flood, and it wiped out all of the giants, all of the Nephilim. And this was mentioned again in the book of Enoch, and they left it out on purpose, guys. Like, they left this shit out on purpose because they don't want you to know the real origins of humanity and our true history. But the truth is always in plain sight. Peace and love.
Now, I just opened up this can, and I know damn well
What is it?
ain't
Cheese?
no fucking condensed milk. It's brown.
Milk? It's disgusting. Bagel fluid? You're supposed to drink that?
What the fuck is this? Ain't never seen no yolk the same color as the egg.
I swear I've had this watermelon for maybe 4 or 5 days. Went out of town, came back, it literally exploded. Look at this.
Oh, that fish stinks. She's got her hands in there. That's disgusting. You guys always talk crap about me saying wear gloves. I wear gloves when I touch meat. Smelly ass fish.
For those of y'all that don't believe that there's something wrong with our food, well, when the damn bugs and the birds ain't eating it, there's something wrong with it.
That first word, that's why they're 50% off.
Here we are yet again, almost a month in, and this stuff is not melted yet. I mean, look at this right here, look at this. And y'all gonna say, oh, because, or some of y'all gonna be like, oh, it's got xanthan gum in it, look.
Would you say New Orleans one of the most haunted cities in America?
100%. I mean, you can feel it right when you get off the plane. You're like, ooh, it's spooky. There's an old black guy, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird. And there's all these voodoo tours and ghost tours, and it's spooky as shit.
But let me ask you, the part about, is that the Lalaurie Mansion? This is
There
at
it
the
is.
Lalaurie Mansion, 1906 postcard.
The most eerie part of history to me is what Abraham Lincoln said about burial mounds and the giant bones and the giants that used to reign over the American territory. He said this.
Nephilim now.
Basically. But just like with that, it's going to be different species of them. You can pull this up. Abraham Lincoln spoke about giants in America. Several times people have excavated those burial mounds and found giant bones. But they tell us the only giants that exist was James and the giant beanstalk. That's not true.
Why would temples have doors the size of
Why is that there?
Why?
Who was it made to, who? And that's what I'm saying.
Why would they do that?
Gilgamesh allegedly was a giant.
From the Epic of Gilgamesh, that was Anunnaki, right?
Right.
The Nephilim are mentioned once, and I could talk about them a little bit. But we learn more about giants when the Book of Enoch is discovered.
I love giant
The Book
talk.
of Enoch was like an adventurer, I forget when it was, maybe 18th century, was looking for the source of the Nile River, which was kind of a big deal at the time, and found it. It was somewhere in Ethiopia. He gets to know the locals there, and they're Ethiopian Jews that have been there for 3,000 years. Friendly with them, they take him up to their church, and he sees this giant book. Like a giant book. What's that? He said, that's the Bible. He said, it's a Bible? They said, no, that's the Bible. With the King James Bible, I don't know how many books it is, like 66 or something like that, where this had over 100 books. There were Book of Enoch, the Book of Giants, all this other stuff. So you have Genesis that starts basically let there be light. But in this expanded Bible, you have all this stuff that happened before then. So we know a little bit about Moses from the Bible, but if you read these other books, you learn all about Moses and Enoch and Methuselah, and these men are all related. Going back this like 10 or 12 generations from Adam, it's all in there.
Crazy things I've seen on TikTok today.
Rubber mulch and astroturf, commonly used on children's playgrounds and in sports, gives off a chemical dust called 6-PPD that is cancerous. There's a study that came out that found that kids that play on rubber playgrounds instead of soil are 10 times more likely to get cancer, specifically blood cancers. Now, there is no regulation on whether they can use this in playgrounds and sports in the United States, although there is regulation in other countries. Shocker. But the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission has come out with these guidelines to help you understand, how to limit the exposure or the dangers if your kids do play on playgrounds or play sports with this chemical. And based on this, I would never let my kids play on a rubber mulch playground or anything with sports, astroturf, ever again. Hair extensions that you get from India, I know some people think that, people grow out their, long luscious hair for a long time.
So what's going to happen to electric cars when they're 10 years old and there's a big repair to be done on them? Like the likes of this, where it needs a whole EME and it's thousands of euros. And the same with the likes of the Tesla, where it needs thousands of euros spent on it to repair it. Are we just going to scrap them? Because we are seeing 10-year-old electric cars with big problems now, and second-hand isn't always an option. New parts are bonkers money when it comes to buying them. So what are we going to do? What's the solution? And yet the market is growing and growing. So it's a really interesting time, and I don't know from a repairer's point of view how much they're going to be able to do, because a lot of these systems are sealed and closed. So hard to know. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Like, they're probably going to scrap them, right? 10 years, and they're doing nothing but electric cars now. 10 years, that car depreciates, and it's worth nothing. It's probably cheaper to scrap it than it is to pay for the thousands of dollars of parts to fix it. So, scrap.
2006, something shocking happened on live TV involving the famous Mexican comedian Eugenio Derbez.
Almost done, 2 more minutes.
During a special World Cup broadcast on La Jugada del Mundial, Derbez participated in a hypnosis segment with hypnotist Tony Camo. At first, it seemed harmless entertainment, but things took a disturbing turn when Derbez, under hypnosis, was convinced he was a teenage boy back in school. In the middle of the segment, he became so deeply hypnotized that he lost control of himself and accidentally urinated on live television. The clip caused massive controversy across Mexico. Soon after, the footage mysteriously disappeared from TV for years, which only fueled even more speculation. While some believe it was just an innocent hypnosis stunt gone wrong, others claim it was actually part of a humiliation ritual, a way for major networks to break celebrities and test their obedience behind the scenes. Years later, the footage resurfaced online, reigniting debates about what really happened that night and whether Derbez was exploited for ratings or something far darker.
60 to 65% of the Democrats in the House and the Senate are on the list. I know that for a fact. 25% of Republicans in the House and Senate combined are on the list, including Lindsey Graham.
When it comes to pedophilia, no one cares about the party preference.
No one cares, you see? Exactly. But if Trump doesn't reveal it, he's going to lose the midterms in 2026. And then they're going to impeach him. I'm telling, so he's got to, this is not going away.
The biggest shock was not that extraterrestrials were here on Earth and had been ever since at least the Ice Age. The biggest shock that I felt was discovering that Einstein was wrong about relativity. The craft that the tall whites and the grays came in, the Roswell grays came in, could easily exceed the speed of light by many times. The tall white technology was better than the technology of the grays, but the grays come from a planet that's closer than the planet the tall whites come from, and the grays got here first. So I would guess that 90% of the time that you see an actual extraterrestrial craft, it's one of the gray craft, and about 10% of the time it's one of the tall white craft.
All right, family. There you have today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You know what to do if you made it this far. I ain't gonna say it, y'all. No, I'll say it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, y'all. I don't got much going on. I got baby duty today. Baby duty today. Baby woke up. He's not crying. He's whining. So I'm gonna get him, change him out of his pajamas, feed him, and get the day started, y'all. It's a nice, it poured a thunderstorm last night. So it's nice outside. I might be able to take him for a little walk, go check the mail, get him outside, get some fresh air, y'all. So that's the plan today. Hope everyone out there has a good day, y'all. I'm going to see you guys on the next one. This is Segovia signing out of the man cave. See you guys tomorrow. Later.